What I'm gonna do next is, this is another one that I really like fresh. Again, these are ingredients that I really like. Your spinaches, your arugulas, your tomatoes. I don't like to cook with too many ingredients. I'm usually around 5 ingredients or less. I don't like to complicate my meals. But what you want to really make sure is the ingredients you're using are really, really good. Again, like my canned tomatoes, that would make a difference to me. What's in season will absolutely make a difference. We don't worry too much here in California, and I think most of the time now in the grocery stores, it's not as big of an issue that it used to be many, many years ago when I started cooking. Farmers markets absolutely are fantastic. So that's kind of where I'd rather have really good ingredients and take care of them and make them be flavorful and have less of them. So I have all I did was I bought a pint of tomatoes at the grocery store. Key is to take a very light salting to those tomatoes. The salt will enhance the tomatoes for you. So again, that's a really important step. Take a minute, salt your tomatoes alone before you go do anything else. Adding probably about 2-3 tablespoons of butter to this dish. And all I'm really trying to do right now is work on getting this cooked just a little bit. I will add probably just a little bit of oil just to kind of see how all this is being happy about and how it's all working, but not much more than that. So I'm just going to let these tomatoes kind of work around for a few minutes. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding our pasta water first into this mixture. So I'm going to give this about 5 minutes while I talk about something else because I want the tomatoes to cook just a few more minutes. I know I've been asked a lot with garlic. I love garlic, absolutely love garlic, but I choose wisely where it goes. I don't like to be overwhelmed in my when I do my recipes with garlic, so I will do a subtleness of garlic. And one of the recipes that I was going to share with you guys, which is how I make my pesto, I run the garlic around, and I learned this from Massimo. I run the garlic around the rim of the whole food processor, so you're not sure where it is. It's so minute, but yet that flavor of garlic and the aroma of the garlic absolutely turns out fabulous. I did want to talk for a second on browning butter. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. And I always thought, I was like, oh my God, I have to go through all these steps to brown butter, and what happens if I burn it and all these things. Browning butter, so I just turned this down because I know I'm getting to my point. When you put butter into a skillet, and because right now I'm doing it with my tomatoes, butter has a point where if your temperature is too hot or it's been cooking a little too long, starts to get brown. Fabulous. Absolutely changes the taste of butter into this really aromatic, like nutty flavor. I love to do that quite a bit. I didn't realize what I was not complicating it, but I was doing it by default. So when you see that the butter just slowly starts turning brown, turn down your heat before we add in the pasta noodles. That little step will change this into more of an, I don't want to say nutty because I don't know if that's always a good word, like nutty flavor, but it gives this absolutely, French cuisines use it quite a bit in their cooking. Yeah, Leanne, brown butter over linguine with scallops. So usually you make the brown butter first and then they tell you to add it. And I will go through a step with that where more but I guess I'm showing you guys what I just have done and what's easy, and I'm not going to complicate the life or make things. So I know right now that I kind of browned my butter with these tomatoes, and it's great. But yes, you usually normally sit there and make a separate brown butter and then add it to your dishes. So right now what I have done is I have just taken grape tomatoes, browned my butter a little bit in here. I am actually going to take, oh, that's been cooking this whole time. I just took some bowtie pasta and I'm going to put this into, oh, I'm sorry. You take half a cup of your pasta water, and I'll add this pasta water, it doesn't really matter. You are actually going to put this into the pan right now prior to your pasta. So I'm going to turn this up a little bit. And I'm sorry I'm a little off because I'm so used to a gas stove, so this does throw me just a teeny bit. So I'm going to heat this up just a little bit. I want that pasta water to warm up again before I add this pasta. Who's going to eat all the pasta? Well, Bo's probably coming over. And I know we'll have a lot of leftovers. It'll be good for lunch. So you can see now I just waited for all the pasta water to come back to just a very slow boil, because I do want, and I'm going to add my noodles right into here again. And I want that to thicken up just a teeny bit. I'm going to do a light toss with this. But here's the fun part. This is what I love to do. So my tomatoes are looking really good. I just kind of judged how much of the pasta I want in here. I'm going to get this all zhuzhed around. I then am going to take spinach, and I am going to lay it all on top of my pasta. I then am going to take a lid. I'll take this one. That's why I had to get my heat up just a little bit. And I'm going to let that all sit. I'll turn it up a little bit more. I'm going to let that all sit and let the spinach wilt. And it just takes about 2-3 minutes to do that. And then we're going to stir this all into that pasta. Yeah, Sandy, I love pasta. It's or spinach. I love arugula too. Not everybody's a fan of arugula. I love arugula, so I'll also do this with arugula. But spinach for everybody tastes really good. So I'm just going to give that a few minutes for that spinach to melt. I usually might give this just a minute to kind of get into the pan. So just keep stirring. This is a really healthy meal. I wanted to share with you guys too, I know last week, I think it was last week, I did sear and bake chicken. You can add chicken on top of any of these dishes that I'm doing. You can add shrimp, is really good. If you threw shrimp in here at this point, is super good. Or anything that you want to kind of eat, you know, as far as a heavier protein, by all means, you just go in and top this. But to me, a pasta dinner with a fresh loaf of bread and fresh Parmesan and oil and maybe a salad is absolutely, to me, one of my favorite meals. And then if I need to, or we needed to add some protein in there, is really good. So that's up to you. I just haven't gone into all this. So all I'm doing right now is you can see that spinach is melting away in there. I love this. And actually this dish cold, which will be tomorrow's, as Josefa said, I'll be having a lot of pasta. This is so good cold. So there's times that if I'm doing this in a head or just want a cold salad, especially with the summer coming, this tastes great because once we do the toppings to it, you don't need to add much more to this, and it's really good. So I'm just going to get ready for my, again, fresh Parmesan. Yeah, the chicken to the penne pasta with vegetables is really good. Anytime, oh, thanks, Bo. I appreciate you looking at the website. Yeah, any type, and I love the sear and bake chicken. And what you can even do is finish this dish off actually in your oven too, if you want to do that, Sandy. If you're going to do this dish and you wanted to add the spinach, just go right ahead and throw your chicken right on top. And again, that white, I only have one of them, but I love this type of white Le Creuset skillet that you guys see me a lot in. I would have probably made that in here, and then I would have brought that again out to the table. So on this dish, what I'm gonna do is add just again a little bit of lemon zest on top. I will say this, if you have the lemon squeeze bottles or things like that, don't use them. It's better not to have it. If it's not fresh lemon zest, it will taste different, and there's no substitution for it. Lime, if you tend to do, lime zest is absolutely fabulous too. So if you like lime, go ahead and do lime on there. There's nothing wrong with that. So what I'm gonna, again, because I love my Parmesan, but if you wanted to add another cheese in here, like feta or mozzarella or anything like that, go ahead. I mean, this cheese topping, I just really into Parmesan right now, so I add a lot of Parmesan, but absolutely fabulous. Because of the sauce and us adding that pasta water into there, we don't need to really dress this hardly at all, if you even have to. So again, I'm just gonna take a little bit of balsamic, put that on top, and I'm just gonna take a teeny bit, and I mean a teeny bit, of olive oil. So maybe half a teaspoon in there. Yeah, probably, maybe a half teaspoon, a teaspoon. Because what I'm gonna do is just toss this one more time with all my pasta noodles, and you will have an absolutely fantastic, and like I said, if you wanna use feta or anything like that, cheese or anything on top, or your chicken or shrimp, go right ahead. This will be absolutely terrific. So we are done with the next pasta. So there's our next skillet. A lot of my pasta dishes, you will notice, will be one skillet meals, depending on most of what I have to do. So I try to make it as easy as I can.